Hey guys, welcome back. We are finally in a tractor seat for ourselves. I've been trying to film as much as I can for you of myself in a seat, but for some reason I keep getting dragged into some other tasks that have not involved me being in a seat. But you know what, this morning I had to put my foot down and say, I need some throttle therapy. Snowmobile season's gone, and well, watching everyone else play with their tractors, well, I need to be selfish and do that for myself. Right now we're pulling the hay float, and it is a deep tillage cultivator that's been converted over to a leveling cultivator with Hawkus leveling shovels. Instead of the shovels being pulled into the ground for tillage purposes, these leveling shovels are quite thick and they hover right above the surface of the ground. And there's 3 gangs of them, so they do a real nice job of floating, and then there's a set of heavy barrows at the back as well. So this cultivator is probably 30-35 years old, and it did a lot of dirt cultivation in its past. I actually bought it from a friend of mine up near Camrose, Alberta. You know who you are, thank you very much. It's a 34-foot wide, it's an old Frigstead cultivator actually. It's been completely refurbished. We tore it down a couple years ago and sandblasted every component and had it repainted with industrial paints. Every nut, bolt, bushing, bearing, pin on this cultivator has been replaced, rebuilt, upgraded. The hay float's fun because it gets good work done in a day. It isn't overly complex, so you can set the GPS, or just watch as I turn here, but you can set the GPS and make some phone calls and keep business moving here while you're still getting some work done. So, yeah, stay tuned, guys. Something you might be wondering from this drone footage is, wow, David, it looks like a pretty crappy field you're in. Well, you're right. This field, ever since the drought came in a couple years ago, this field has fallen completely on our face, or on its face. In 2019, the last year that we got good rain, this 115-acre field produced about 400 bales of hay. And then after 2019, that's when the drought started kicking in, and this field just fell right on its face. It's due to be tore up. It actually was, we were hoping to tear it up last fall, but a few situations happened where it just couldn't happen. So anyways, last year, this is one of about 500 acres of hay that we had that didn't even get cut. So if you can imagine putting all those input costs into a field and not getting anything in return. So it was fertilized, it was floated, it was aerated, and it just didn't rain, so it didn't produce, so it didn't get cut. So we had some horses grazing on it, but they still didn't put a dent into the little bit of growth that it had. So this year, you know, when you look at the drone footage here of us floating this field, yeah, there's a pile of trash on the surface. We're going to be running this float over it actually twice, so that it can break all that down. Because this field didn't get harvested as dry hay last year, and there's all this trash on the surface, we do have some plans for it. We're going to be taking that new drill and seeding right into it. But if this field doesn't produce well, or even let's say it produces really well, we're still going to have all this old trash and organic matter into this year's hay, which is going to devalue the hay. So don't judge or laugh too hard when you see some of the drone footage. The trash is here from the lack of growth in 2023. But hey, it's 2024. It's going to be a great year. We're going to get piles of rain. We're going to have more hay and crop and everything that we know what to do with, and it's going to bring food prices down and correct inflation. That last part I have no control over, but sure, that would be nice. But I think there's a few other people in charge that are the creator of that problem. But we're not going down that road. Well, I'm headed for the headlands of this field. I got to get back to the yard and stop having all this amount of fun. And as much as I'm happy to be here and have a smile on my face getting this work done like I'd already told you, it's my 10th wedding anniversary today, and my wife and I are going to go out and celebrate. So maybe a quick message to my wife. I love you so much. Thanks for marrying me. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for being the best farmer's wife you could have, and look forward to many, many, many more years. So anyways, before I get rambling and start telling you guys too much information about tonight, I'm gonna end this one here. Well, I couldn't bore you guys with just this floating of this hayfield, but ended up making 2 passes, one 90 degree from the other, to help incorporate all this trash. The field's starting to look pretty good. I wish I could throw the drone in the air, but it's so darn windy here today. I think that drone would end up in Japan. I'll see if it calms down here a little later. I'll run the drone up and show you guys. Exciting to know she's on her way for 2024. Hay in season. Hay for sale. So couldn't help but just think you guys might be interested in knowing some of this. A lot of people say, well, why do you float a hayfield? And well, for us, the molehills are a pretty big part of that. If you were to leave a molehill or a gopher hole, like a mound, I should say, for too long, there's going to be grass that eventually starts growing into that. And then that's a speed bump. And nobody likes working in a rough hayfield. So we find if we not only aerate, but float or harrow our field every year, those little gopher hills or mole hills, whatever rodent is building a mound, they stay very soft. So when you hit them, yeah, you can feel them, but they're not that bad, especially in a JCB Fast Track that has such crazy suspension. Might want to know some of these details. Fuel efficiency out of this JCB, we've always been pretty impressed with it. By the way, this leveling float or this deep tillage cultivator is 34 feet wide, and we were pulling it at between 6 and 8 mile an hour, or between 10 to 13 kilometers an hour. We did this quarter section twice. We made 2 passes, one perpendicular to the next one. So we were doing about 24 acres an hour, and we were burning about 26 and a half liters of diesel per hour. We'll highlight it up in the corner to gallons, US gallons, but 26 and a half liters per hour of fuel burn, which is about 55-60% engine load on this JCB Fast Track, which is about 235 horsepower load. And in total we burnt about 295 liters of fuel. So the 295 liters of fuel is kind of interesting, because at, let's say, $1.25 per liter, about $368 of cost of diesel went into this. You know, you could say, yeah, we threw about 19 liters of DEF in the tractor as well to do that. So let's just say it cost us $400 worth of hard consumable cost to float that field. $400. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Fuel prices are up and everything. Equipment's expensive and everything else. But just hard cost, $3.47 an acre went into that field. So I couldn't help but think some of you might be interested in knowing some of these facts or stats. If you guys like seeing all that, we can post all these kind of stats in the description videos, or we can talk about it. Let us know what you guys want to see. But we keep pretty detailed records for time work done in every field. So the stats and facts are there. So if you guys want them, if that's something you guys want to see, just let us know in the comments, and we aim to please. Well, holy, did I almost close out this video without telling you guys the biggest news of the century? Well, actually, there's two things. We got notification this morning, our drill is almost here. It is close. I can almost feel it. Our dealer contacted us this morning saying she's close, she's almost here. Anyway, guys, so that'll be in the next few videos as well, hopefully. And well, on top of that, even bigger news. I don't know what could possibly be bigger than the fact that our long-awaited drill is almost here. Guess what? We're on Instagram. Official Farmin Ain't Easy Instagram page. Check us out. There'll probably be a little more behind-the-scenes stuff, the stuff that doesn't make YouTube, the shorter stuff, and well, who doesn't like badass tractor stuff? Come on, guys, don't tell me like you don't. Anyway, more material for you. Enjoy.